Your most important job as a parent, by the time you launch them at 18 or 25 or whenever they'll friggin' leave, is to teach them one thing and one thing only, and that is called emotional regulation. Because with emotional regulation, you can do anything. Do you know what I mean when I say emotional regulation? Not losing your friggin' mind, okay? How do you keep it together enough to have access to making good decisions? The only way you learn emotional regulation is in the context of relationship, yeah? When you bring your baby home from the hospital, they have nothing on board other than to what? To let you know that they need something. How do they let you know they need something? They lose their friggin' mind. They cry. And what do? You cry as well, yes. Or you drink wine, or I'm just kidding. But usually in the beginning, your job is to figure out how to regulate them, right? You try to figure it out. You rock, you change balm, you feed. If that doesn't work, what do? You go for a walk, you take them for a drive, you put them on the dryer, not in the dryer, but on the dryer, and you work to get them soothed, to get them regulated, because the more times you do that in your presence, the less it is required in your absence. Our only job as parents is to regulate for our baby so that when we launch them, they can do it for themselves. The more times you do that in your baby's presence, the less they will require somebody to do that for them in their absence, in your absence. Yeah? So your kid's job is to get dysregulated. And your job is to help them make sense of big emotion. Because they don't have the neurological capacity to do that. Yeah? The more times you do that for your baby, the more times they wonder, and they start to, I'm worth it, I matter. Look I got somebody who can catch me when I'm losing my friggin' mind. Perfect. Now I can take on the world. Yeah? Okay, so everything I'm going to talk about tonight is not new. This guy's dead. Most people that I'm going to talk about today are dead, okay? Because this isn't fantastic new things. I say this to school boards all the time. I don't sell a shiny program. I don't think you need to do anything different than you're doing now. You need to operate from a philosophy of relationship and connection, and anything will work, okay? The only thing, this is Yuri Bronfenbrenner, who I might have mentioned is dead. He started the American Head Start program in the 50s, the same time Pavlov, Watson, and Skinner were starting to say, like, if you just reward a kid enough, yeah, they'll do what you want. Yuri and another guy named John Bowlby, who we're going to talk about in a minute, but this guy said the only thing a kid needs to develop in a healthy way is that somebody has to be crazy about them. First, last, and always, that's it, end of story. Huh? Do you know what I mean when I say crazy? I mean like light up crazy. You know when you haven't seen your children for a long time, yeah? Or and you do this like this. Light up crazy, okay? That is what kids need to know that they matter. This is why people have dogs, see? Because we all want somebody or something to light up around us. And you can be the biggest friggin' jerk. I have not even swore once, you Catholics. Are you proud of me? You can be the so close, just slipped one there. You can be the biggest jerk on the planet, and you can come home, and what does your dog do? So I can measure the health of a marriage based on how many dogs you have. Just kidding. Your trustee in the front row is like, shit, I have 5. Just kidding. But here's the truth of it. We all want somebody to light up around us. We never, ever outgrow that. And the truth of the matter is, it is easiest to light up around the people who don't need it as much. Think about the babies in your world, your kids' friends, the ones you worry about the most, the ones you've coached or the ones you've seen at school, at pickup or drop-off, who you've been so worried about. How many people are lighting up around them? How many people, when they see them, go, ah! They're usually named Jackson with an X, Chase, or Damien. I'm just kidding. But not really. So usually what happens is we respond very well to emotional regulation. If your kid is regulated and they know their manners, they can say hello, they are arriving on time, we respond very well to those kids, yeah? Good to see you. Hi, Miss S. Thanks so much, right? It's the little dudes who roll in 20 minutes late, backpack half open. They put one boot in the boot room. The other guy's still on because they had something to tell you. I got a Pokemon! What do we do for those babies? Look at me, right here. Eyes on. Zip it. Okay? No, not Pokemon time. Look at me, you're in the red. Where does your boots go? Mm-hmm. No, we're not talking. Do you understand me? So we use some OT strategies, which are also very helpful if you march to the locker. It's not about OT strategies. It's about this kid is dysregulated. He has no capacity to learn, right? So is it okay that he enters our classroom or your house when his lid is flipped and he's dysregulated? No. It is not if I'm going to have a discussion with that baby, it's when. It is so much easier to light up around the kids who get emotional regulation. But the kids who need to be lit up around are usually the ones who need assistance with that emotional regulation piece. Yeah, you get it? We all want this to happen, okay? So this is your little homework because this is a school function. I feel like it would be very appropriate to give you homework, okay? Who owns a spouse? Okay. So here's the other thing about the light up. We don't give it away to people who mean the most to us. Yeah? So when you go home tonight, if you didn't bring your spouse, this is what's going to happen in Calgary tonight when you go home tonight, okay? You're going to walk through the door. You're going to get eye contact. You might have to wake them up. And you're going to do this. Babe, come here. Come on. I just don't know if I tell you enough how much I love you and how lucky I am to have you in my life. I don't care what my mother says. It was the best decision to marry you. Okay? So what's going to happen when you do that in Calgary tonight? We're going to increase the population of the Calgary Catholic School Board, is what I hear happening. But what are they going to say to you? What would they say? What's wrong? What do you want? Are you loaded? I tried this. I mean, I got a website on this, but I tried this with my own personal husband, Aaron, not very long ago. And I said to him, my personal husband, I only have one. And I was thinking, I was working with a particularly tough family, and I came home that day, and I was thinking, I'm so lucky. He's not on crack. We have a spreadsheet for everything. God, he feeds cows. How much more do you want from a man? And so I came through the door, and he was there with the kids, and I said, babe, I feel so blessed, because we're Catholic, to be married to you. Do you like that? So I hung on for the 15 seconds I'm supposed to hang on for. And you know what he said to me when I pulled away? You know what he said? What'd you buy? Which is a good question for me, but I got a website on this, and he doesn't even trust the fact that my light up might be genuine. Right? So think about this disconnect that happens in our homes, right? Rarely do you walk through the door at the end of the day and make eye contact with the people you love. We usually are worried about what's for supper, who let the dog out, who's going to practice, right? Rarely do we take that time to look at each other and be like, hey, how was your day? Buddy, it's so good to see you, right? That light up is the thing we miss so much because our opportunities to light up are not what they used to be, yeah? We're trading floor space for friends, and we're keeping ourselves busier and busier and busier to make sense of the disconnect, yeah? What matters more than anything, right? And my kids always surprise me this, when we ask them what they'd like to do, and they always say movie night or let's play Uno, It always is amazing to me. Because here's the tricky thing. When we teach our children, we teach our children's children. You cannot give away something you have never received, yeah? You have to be taught how to apologize and be compassionate and have empathy. If nobody's ever done that for you, you cannot give that away. So in this province, in this country, we see multi-generations of abuse, neglect, and trauma, and we think the answer is to take the kids away. That is not the answer, right? We have to break the cycle. We have to speak to the parents, the caregivers that hold these babies and hang on tight to them so that they can feed these babies again and again and again when they get dysregulated. Yeah? Kids in care are on medication 78% time greater than kids who are not in care. And you know what we're medicating? Dysregulation. The only way that I teach a baby how to regulate is in the context of relationship. And the more I do that for them, the better able they are to do it for the next generation. So here's the deal. If you screw up your kids, you're screwing up your grandkids. No pressure, okay? You can't give away something you've never received, okay? So in comes this idea of attachment, your superpower, right? And the word attachment becomes a scary word. If you don't Google it, well, Google attachment parenting, it's awful. This is not how it started to be, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in a second. But we learn most everything in the context of relationship. Most importantly, that thing called emotional regulation. And when you have emotional regulation on board, you have access to everything you will ever need to know in your life. Let me show you how important this idea of connection is, because we forget so much as parents. Are we enough, right? There is so many ideas about, you know, sorry, you don't have your kid in summer hockey, spring hockey, winter hockey, and purple hockey. All right. So they're in, you don't have them in basket weaving. Listen, they're not going to be very creative. No piano. They learn a second language best before 6. They're not in French. Huh. Okay, well, you make your choices. Frig off. None of that matters, okay? Less is more. Believe me when I say your babies want you, okay? I'm going to show you this little piece.
If you could have dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would you choose?
Kylie Minogue.
Oh. Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, God, I wouldn't have a clue.
I know, straight up. Paul Hogan.
Kim Kardashian.
No.
I'd like to have dinner with Justin Bieber.
What? He's not coming to my house.
I'd have Bob Hawke.
Dave Hughes.
Barry Humphries.
Jimi Hendrix.
People who have made a difference in the world, maybe Nelson Mandela at the dinner table.
I don't know what he's going to say. I'm scared.
If you could have dinner with anyone in the world, who would you choose?
Probably our whole family, like a whole extended family. Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad. Does it have to be a celebrity? Could it be family?
We love it. We talk about how school is. We ask Mum and Dad how their day was.
Family.
Yeah, Mum and Dad.
Family. Who would you like to have dinner with?
They just want to be with us while they're eating food, which is pretty cool.
They see us above everything. I'm going to get...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a message in it for me.
Yes.
What are we having for dinner?
So you can imagine that it's these people sort of being interviewed about, you know, if you could have dinner with anybody. And, you know, people are coming up with all kinds of things. And the last thing they think about is their kids. And in 92% of the kids that they asked, that was the first answer out of their mouth, is our whole family. That's who I want to have dinner with, yeah? And we often miss that opportunity because what happens at dinner time, right? This is a prime opportunity for this, but they don't know what they're asking for.
Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to show you my awesome new Wix website. It's got everything I love all in one place. Let me show you guys how I did it.
Yeah, we'll just close that, girl. So, yeah, so it's good. Yeah. Yeah. They're such good Catholics. They have Advent, where you open the door for chocolate.
So we were talking about if you could make a wish for Christmas that did not go under the tree, what would you wish for? And 3 or 4 of them came up to share their wishes with me. They didn't have to. I'd like to have supper with my family. I'd like to stay home at night and play a game. I'd like to go for a walk or a bicycle ride with my family. It was all about these 10-year-old children just wanting to do something with their family, not go to a sport, not be sent off here, have supper together.
Yeah. And that's something. And I think at the end of the day, right, what really matters about this stuff is that it's about you're enough. We wonder all the time, are we screwing our kids up? Is this a universal thing in Calgary? Because it happens in Olds like every day. okay? We feel like that is what we're doing every day, all day, and we wonder, are we enough? And it's so remarkable to me that sort of kids, you know, at the end of the day, this is all they want is time with you, because they understand that the most important thing on the planet is that they need somebody in their world to assist them in regulating, okay?